This is a story about Herb Honecker, a man without a job, and about Jack Weller, a minister and neighbor of Herb's. The events were photographed as they happened. Nothing was reenacted. No one knew what the outcome would be. Jack Weller will tell the story.
I've been in the southern mountains as a minister for 11 years now. When I came, this was a prosperous valley. Its one industry, coal mining, was booming.
A couple I want you to get when I come up here.
There were, of course, families caught in poverty, mountain people with broken spirits, people repeating one generation after another the dreary lives of their parents. Our church tried in many ways to show these people our concern. We tried to keep them open to the healing forces of the community, symbolized, I think, by the church and school, and by caring and interested neighbors. And these people are open to this, they really are.
You've got shoes.
Well, I want them boots.
I mean, do you want some sneakers like those, you know, or would you like some regular shoes?
I want some major boots.
Oh, you don't?
Oh.
One, the other girl goes to school, she wears leggings.
Strangely enough, poverty like this is increasing, in spite of the fact that the coal industry still produces as much as ever. For those who work, the pay is good, but machines are replacing men. Now, 150,000 miners produce as much as 700,000 once did. That means 550,000 men thrown out of work. Superfluous men made to depend on government relief in spite of their struggle to escape and in spite of their willingness to work. When machines replaced mules in the mines, they simply stopped breeding the mules. What of the men who are replaced by machines? One of these men is my neighbor Herb Honecker. He's strong and eager to work. He wants to better himself, but work is scarce.
I don't know what to do. If I can't find some kind of substantial work here, I don't know where to go to, where to leave to. I mean, Chicago, Cleveland, you can't go there now. I mean, well, there's nothing to work.
It's hard to get there.
Hard to get there, too, yeah. The deal of just up and leaving, you can't do it, can you?
Not hardly.
I wonder if you ain't heard anything about any work in Charleston or anything, have you? Any kind of construction work?
No. Nothing on those plants, you don't have a chance down there.
Yeah.
You get a job down there.
I heard something about a blacktopping job on Route 119, but I don't know where, you know, union or where it has to be skilled or what.
Well, that's all done with contractors, and they bring their own labor in with them.
Usually they do.
Most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a sewer job down there. They're digging some sewers, I think. They use miners for that.
They wouldn't be a sewer miner then, huh?
Be a sewer miner instead of a coal miner.
In recent years, our economy and our wealth has climbed to new heights. Yet we condemn 1 out of every 18 men to look for a job that is not there. Herb's one skill, to dig and load 15 or 20 tons of coal a day, is obsolete. One of the few jobs open to him is in a punch mine or dog hole. These are mines cut into coal seams which are so small that the automated mines find them unprofitable to work. Inside the dog hole, men work all day on their hands and knees. The work is backbreaking and even more dangerous than in the old mines.
Well, I don't care about how hard the work is, you know that. I mean, I'm ready to go to work any time. I mean,
As soon as I get this day shift worked out, I'm going to start a night shift.
Well, how you going to pay on the hand loading side?
Well, I don't know yet. Because we haven't got into that. We're just more or less trying to get it going.
Herb has worked many times in dog holes, but the jobs never last long, and the pay is pitifully small.
You see if I was going to work all right with it. Let me show you these statements here. Now, this is when this man started till it ended. I mean, from the time they started operations till it ended.
Yeah.
About $500, $600, $700, $800 is the top.
For a whole year?
A whole year. Summertime job, in winter you can't work, and if it rains they can't work. Now here's the Christmas payday. Half beginning on the 1st to the 15th, the 12th month. I made $26.44. That's the whole half. It was bad weather. That was just about the end. I think the next half then, I did work after this, and tried some more because that's all I had. And I think we made $6 1 week in that half, which was on a Tuesday, I think. We didn't get to work no more till on a Thursday. And we made 50 cents, and that's the day that I got my hand hurt and I just quit. I didn't go back. That timber fell on my fingers. I don't think it's a very good deal. I mean, I better not. I'll stay where I'm at.
Unable to find work, Herb is forced to settle for what he can get on a government aid program. Here, survival is guaranteed, but nothing more. I think unless a real job can be found for him, Herb is in danger of losing his sense of his own worth. He'll suffer a loss of will. He'll become resigned to having no hope. He'll become a captive to poverty.
About the only job I could get was like lumber yard or night watchman or something like that. Don't pay enough to stay there and pay the high utilities and rent and so forth, Couldn't make it.
So I got a job in this lumber yard, and I taken it. Made good money there what time I worked there. But when it come a cutoff, why, naturally it got me because I was one of the last men they hired. And after a man gets up past 50 years old, he's just about done. Don't nobody hire you. There's so much land that's laying here in West Virginia that's idle, and you won't let a man tend men off. It's these big coal operators and landowners.
Big land companies.
Yeah. We'll give it to the people instead of this. Give them land enough to farm on. Anywhere from 5 to 10, 15 acres, and money enough to live off of a year. Told them to make it, there'd have been a whole lot of people on them. Give them money enough and land enough to live off of 1 year. And the land to farm on, and if he can't make it from then on, he ought to stop.
But he can no longer make it on the farm. That is a dream. A technological revolution hit the farm 2 decades before it hit the coal fields, and farms now produce more than anyone knows what to do with. Some of this vast farm surplus is given to the men on the aid programs to supplement the cash payments. Herb told me that the first few times he got these commodities, he was so embarrassed, he didn't take them out of his car until after dark.
You ain't got mine ready, have you?
I ain't got yours ready, no. There's yours. Your Fowler?
Flowers.
F-L-O-W-E-R. Huh?
Yes. Hey.
What's your?
Huh? F-L-O-W-E-R-S.
Flowers, like the flowers.
F-O-W-L-E-R.
No,
Albert Fowler?
No. Albert Flowers. You had it that way the last time. I mean, I don't know how you got it that way.
Charles Fowler?
No.
Well, buddy, I'll tell you, you just been buttoning me.
Well, you had him right here.
Huh?
You had him right here.
Albert Fowler? F-O-W-L-E-R?
Yeah, F-O-W-E-R-S.
And the rest to it?
No.
Well, just put one on it.
Huh?
Just put an S on it, you'll have it.
No, I can't do it. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna have to go out there and check your stuff. I think I got you there.
He gets about 8, don't you, Mike, or now?
No, 5, 6, 7, something like that.
I got yours right. That's yours. Go ahead and finish. I just changed that element brother. Honecker. 3 meals, you get 3 meals.
Got 3 meals.
There's one other benefit Herb gets from the aid program, medical care. His wife, Anna, can go to a clinic and receive the care and medicine she needs for herself and for their 3 children.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to get some medicine for Kathy, you know, that has some rheumatic fever. She's out.
Father's Herbert.
Yes, ma'am.
This is very important to Herb, for Anna has been sick often, and one of the children needs treatment for a rheumatic heart. This good medical care, unfortunately, is a mixed blessing. It binds Herb to the aid program, because there are few jobs that Herb could ever hope to get which would pay enough to let him afford this kind of care. On the first day of each month, Herb goes to the post office to pick up his check for the road work. When the mine's automated, thousands of workers left the area. Herb stayed on. The ties of place, of neighbor, and of kin, more binding in these hills than in other parts of the country, kept Herb here, in the security of the surroundings he has always known.
How much, Kinder?
Good morning. Kids okay?
Yeah, me and 7. Any milk today?
Yes, they are. Check day.
Well, I thank you.
You're in home welcome. Come back to see you.
I will. You and Reuben come down.
Well, we've been able to come down, Herbie, for a long time, but it seems like we can't get started. Our car's in the garage now.
Yeah, mine just about quit, too.
Yeah.
Well, I'll see.
Okay, Herbie. He's coming. You be here soon.
There's Daddy, Mom.
There's Daddy. Sure, see, you've been crying for Daddy.
The check, the family must live on it for a month, amounts to $160.
I'll get a piece of paper and we'll,
You want Mommy a pencil?
Okay. Well, we got the ring, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, how much will Mr. Barrett
Well,
store groceries?
we had him about $60 on that. I don't know if it's a little more or not.
Well, put 60 down.
Maybe $60. How about this?
Each month, he is more and more behind.
Week now, we try to take those.
These are the main utilities here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, put it on there. We'll see what we owe, then what we can pay, and what has to wait, maybe.
That's 132.5. We don't have enough, are we?
No.
No.
It's easy for anyone to criticize the way Herb uses his money, the way he buys what he can't afford. It bothers me, too. But in our society, we are all under continual pressure to buy more and more consumer goods. The dull life that lack of money forces on him would be even duller without his TV set.
Hi.
Hey, Raymond.
May I help you?
Yeah, we want to
I'd like to make
check
payment.
cash.
Okay.
Here's the check. He's already signed it.
All right.
Bringing it down any?
Yeah, a little bit, yes.
A little bit?
Uh-huh. 40, 65, 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now what else today?
Nothing today.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Raymond.
Thank you.
See you next month.
Right.
The money and food and medical care that Herb gets on the aid program allows him to survive. But I don't think Herb is resigned to this as a way of life. He wants more, and what is important, he wants to work for it. He wants a job. Anyone who has a job is asked about work.
There's quite a bit of work in Charleston, put it that way. But half the people in Charleston don't want to work. But I mean, a lot of people, you can offer them a job, and they work today, and that's it. Work till the first payday, and that's it.
I wonder if the man could get a job with that outfit you're with.
I'd try down in FMC.
Who?
FMC, Heavy Machinery. That'd be your best bet. I'd check on it just as soon as I could.
Herb set out for Charleston, 40 miles away. He has tried for work in cities before. He got jobs 2 different times, in Detroit and Cleveland. But each time his pay was so low that he couldn't save enough to wait out seasonal layoffs and had to come back. Charleston is a booming city with large chemical and glass industries. There are jobs here for the skilled and educated.
Yeah. Yeah, boy. Uh-huh. Yeah. Get in the eyes. Yeah. What do you got, buddy? A tractor? Hello. How are you?
All right.
False alarm.
Didn't do no good?
No, false alarm.
How come?
I don't know. Went in there and they didn't have no employment office there. They had that girl gave me this. It refers you over to the, you know, I already have application in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing's out Beckley. What they do is if they want a man, well, he's already screened, age and everything, education, they just call him, so.
You try anywhere else?
No. There's no need stopping a car by in those places.
Mm-hmm.
All they want skilled men and like nitrator operators and so forth.
You
Same
want a cup
thing
of
with,
coffee?
please, yeah.
I find it heartbreaking to see Herb, at 33, unable to find any kind of a job, cast on the industrial scrap heap. If Herb doesn't find something soon, I think he'll give up and become a captive to poverty, joining those who are reduced to a life without opportunity. It was clear to me that something drastic had to be done for Herb. Perhaps through the church we could relocate him. Over the past 5 years, with the cooperation of churches outside the valley, our church here had helped 55 families to relocate. I wondered if the extra help that the church could offer Herb would encourage him to try again, even though he'd failed both times when he'd tried it on his own. Oh, the church, simply what it will do is have you come up there, Herb, first by yourself, and Ann and the children will stay here. And you'll live with one of the families there, and they'll help you find a job. Now, this means take you to the various plants in the city where there are jobs available, and you would sign up on your own and get the job on your own with your own talents and skills and in your own right. Or else, there may be a number of people in the church who have plants maybe that they own or work in or know about, and that these men will come and put in a word for you at their plants and try to find a job this way. But now, the second thing is, I mean, how anxious are you to leave?
Well, I'm not too anxious, but I'm willing to go. If I went before with him, we'd live.
Well, this will be different, honey. The thing of it is with Anna, Miss Willer, she doesn't like to live right in a city. See up there, well, where we live is right in the slums. That's the only place we could find a place at, you know, right in the Steel Mill Road, 28th Street it was called. And she was scared and was mostly, they imported a lot of Puerto Ricans and Cubans there to work, and a lot of colored people worked there, and they was all scared, and she wasn't happy there, me working the night shift. We went to Cleveland and places, and no place to live, no money to start with, and tried it, and then we get laid off. Well, still, yeah, that's all we have is enough to get back home on. Hunt a few days for another job, then if you can't find one, you have to come home. That's the automobile industry. What it is, they, after they make the cars for that year, well, there's no more work, you know, unless you have a lot of seniority, or can tough it out.
Herb agreed to try. A few days before he left, Herb and his family went to visit Anna's parents. Their house is far back in the hills in an abandoned coal camp. Here they live out their lives on miner's pension and Social Security. There is little variety. One of their few pleasures is a visit from their grandchildren.
Come on, Frank. Yeah, run too much or what? Fall down. Yeah. I do.
How y'all? Oh, just fine.
Come in. Have a seat.
Warm in it.
Sit a little spell.
Yeah.
What?
You better say
down.
Granny, you're going to leave. Granny won't get to see you no more for a long 45 years.
No, say, Granny, I'll be back to see you. I won't stay that long.
I'll be back.
You'll be back once back.
Hurry now, buddy. He wants to go everywhere I go.
Yeah, he's like.
Wait another day.
Bye. Bye, Daddy. Bye.
As I took Herb to the bus, I was not as sure of his chances as I was of the others we had relocated. Herb didn't have as much to offer in the way of skills and education. But he did have one thing in his favor. He had a great desire to work. The tragedy is that there are fewer and fewer jobs available anywhere for men like Herb. Even if relocation does provide an answer for him and his family, it does not create any new jobs. It does not cope with the problems created by the explosion of young people into the already overcrowded job market. These young people join the workforce at the rate of 250,000 a year, just when automation is closing out 30,000 jobs a week. I look at these young people and wonder how many Herbs are among them. Our changing industry, which makes possible the affluence in much of our society, needs fewer and fewer of the untrained and unskilled. Yet so many of these young people will not even graduate from high school, and few of those who do graduate will be able to afford further study or job training. Some of these boys and girls at 15 and 16 years of age are already captive. Herb was gone for 3 weeks. Then he came back. Why?
Oh, yes, sir.
What did it turn up?
Oh, it was just a run around.
The difficulties and discouragements which everyone faces in new situations, he took as failures. He concluded that he never would find a job that would make the move worthwhile. When a man has been hurt so often, he is afraid to put himself in a position to be hurt again. It seemed to me that poverty of the spirit, was making another captive. I wish Herb had succeeded, but in his failure he represents the hidden millions who are bypassed by our affluent society, unwanted and unneeded. I don't know what I can do for him now, but I do know that we can't sit idly by and permit this human tragedy to continue.